This is quite obviously not a Quest 2, but is it better? About a month ago, the makers of Big Screen, a social VR app where you can watch movies with friends, decided out of seemingly nowhere to drop one of the biggest announcements ever witnessed by the VR community that definitely stirred some controversy. And I already have it. Ha 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 ha. And so does like every other VR YouTuber under the sun. Yeah, you've probably seen this thing by now. This is Big Screen Beyond, and today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this micro VR headset from the future, and more specifically, if you should sell your Quest 2 dog, cat, and mother to buy one. And speaking of micro, my subscriber count, I'm not going to beg you, because let's be honest, if you like my content, you would have already subscribed. Right? Back in 2022, the top G himself flew around the globe showing every VR content creator under the sun his brand new experimental VR headset, including...
No fucking way it's this small, mate.
His Bugatti broke down, so I taught him how to ride a one wheel, but I got to play with this thing for a good few hours before it was snatched from me as Top G had to go pick up a brand new Aston Martin Vanquish, but he did leave me with a prototype unit that does not work. Because I can't be trusted with a fully functioning model, because I am not a fully functioning adult. But that said, I can give my full thoughts and impressions of the working unit that I did get to test. And to be clear, I'm not receiving any money from Big Screen, although I wish I was. VR viewership is dog water right now, and I would really like to buy at least one more can of beans to last me the rest of this month.
She made fucking bang.
Also, the unit that I got to try was a prototype, so obviously things are subject to change.
This is not the final version. I would say this is like an EVT, a DVT. Like
I'm not a mathematician, genius, gynecologist.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
But first, let's talk size. This headset was actually modeled after my face. At least this magnetic face pad was, as each unit is specifically modeled after each user's face using a full face scan from your iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, you're a brokey and you can't have a Beyond, but you can have a Happy Meal.
So you printed that for me?
It's not printed. It's made at our factory in LA. Think of this as like shoe sizes. We make this in 15 sizes.
Oh, so even the housing?
This entire thing, yeah. So like this unit.
As cool as this is, it should make it very clear to you that if it's not already, this is a 100% for enthusiasts, by enthusiasts product. I've marketed this video to be related to the Quest 2, kind of because my entire channel is about this godforsaken headset, but let's be honest, these two could not be further apart. But at the end of the day, even for VR enthusiasts like me, the Quest 2, for a lot of this, is kind of the benchmark for the best all-around headset, and naturally, basically everything releasing right now will inevitably be compared to it. The Quest 2 is a full native VR headset with full capability to run games on its own without the need of a PC, so its size is very justifiable, at least for where native VR technology is at this point in time. But for PC VR headsets, like the incredibly bulky Index and especially the Hammerhead Shark Tank-sized Pimax headsets, you'd expect them to be smaller, considering they don't need to cram an entire fucking computer on board like the Quest 2 does. It's kind of crazy that it's taken this long for a PC VR headset to take advantage of being a PC VR headset, something that can literally fit in your pocket and connect very easily to a decent enough PC to run PC VR. And yeah, I kind of realized I haven't mentioned this yet. This is quite obviously a PC VR headset. If you couldn't already tell from the cable hanging off to the side and the fact that it's literally the size of a fucking banana, this is an exclusively PC VR headset. Ironically, many of us in the VR community have begun to associate ease of use, compact form factor, and weight with native VR headsets like the Pico and the Quest. But due to the lack of needing to cram essentially a mini PC into the front of the headset, PC VR headsets really should be smaller than what we've come to expect, at least in my personal opinion. With the announcement of each new Pimax or multi-$1,000 enterprise PC VR headset, it's starting to become comical with how fucking huge these headsets are. So it's a breath of fresh air to get a headset that is literally lighter than an iPhone.
The hardware we have today, in some cases, it's double the weight of what we had in 2016 when consumer VR launched. They never got smaller, they never got lighter, they got bigger and bigger. They added batteries, it got heavier. Inside out tracked, let's add more sensors to it. That's really cool. I'm glad people are doing that. There's a really big place in the world for that. There's also a place in the world for someone to try a really bold experiment. This is an experiment. Because we felt like there were a lot of people who would try VR and have a really good experience, not even be in it for like an hour, but like you come out of it and you have this feeling of like, it's kind of a little uncomfortable. And that doesn't make you really want to come back into it.
It's like jacking off, dude. It's never worth it afterwards. You feel like...
Not to mention literally being one of the coolest VR headset designs I have ever witnessed. I mean, Thrill looks like an absolute gangster in this thumbnail. Never have I ever looked at someone with a VR headset on and been like, yeah, I want to look like that. Let's be honest, we all look fucking moronic. But with this on, you best bet you have some virtual riz. So none, but a lot of the design is helped by the Cyclops LED that lights up the slightly tinted front of the headset where you can actually see the freaking internals. It's so freaking sick. I mean, I've enjoyed just having this thing as an art piece. But let's talk specs. This thing weighs in at under 127 grams. And here's Big Screen's CEO, Darshan, explaining how they achieved that.
Every single person's IPD is the same. Like your IPD is probably not going to change much beyond like a certain age, typically like 17, 15. Like everyone's the same person, right? So why that's one of the reasons why we're able to bring this down to 120 grams. For comparison, the valve index is 809, and because of this, the Beyond only needs the ski goggle style head strap. It's running micro OLED displays with pancake optics, which pumps out a crisp 5120 by 2560 pixel resolution with a refresh rate up to 90 Hz.
I don't think I can see a single pixel.
The headset also has a release date set for later this year. Now, obviously, with a headset of this size, its FOV is limited at a 90 by 93 degree FOV, but unlike the Quest 2, it's definitely not limited by its microphone. Big Screen truly understood how important it is for us enthusiasts and content creators to actually have a microphone that, you know, doesn't sound like a British Xbox Live voice message from the early 2010s.
Do you honestly think you're fucking funny?
I mean, listen to this.
Everything you're hearing right now is from the two microphones.
The headset's cable is easily detachable from the side, though it may be slightly too easily detachable. I mean, it literally just slots into the side, but didn't fall out at any point while I was playing with the headset. So time will tell if this is actually an issue, but at least it means with quick detachability that hopefully this will never occur again. I wouldn't be surprised if someone from my fucking Discord server still manages it. Discord.gg/GetHip. Okay, so I've given you the rundown on this headset specs, but do I actually want to use this headset? Is this, at the end of the day, just a gimmick? A headset marketed purely off of being as small as possible and simultaneously making a very small impact on the current VR space? Well, yes, but actually no. Let me explain. First, starting with the good. Being able to sit and play sim races with this little weight strapped to your face or watch movies in big screen is pretty fucking awesome. I mean, honestly, just playing any VR game with a headset this light is an entirely different experience, at least for me, someone who's used to having constant fucking neck pain with every VR headset I use and constant bulk and weight. I like to move around a lot when I play VR. Hell, if I can, even do a flip in VR. And obviously with past headsets, this is a pretty rough task. With this thing, the amount of freedom that this little weight on your face gives you is immense. VR games take on a whole new light, at least for me, being able to whip my head around at lightning quick speeds without having to feel constant pulling on the back of my neck. Like, this was genuinely close to having just a pair of freaking sunglasses on my face. This goes without saying, but this was infinitely more comfortable for long periods than the Quest 2, the Index, the Pimax, the PSO2, or the Vario, or any VR headset I have ever used. The personalized face pad definitely helps with this, and obviously it fit me basically perfect due to the face scan because I have an iPhone and also, even with the personalized facial interface, most of my friends were still more than able to use the headset without too much discomfort. Now, because of the headset's form factor, you won't be getting glasses in here. It's kind of obvious, but for those of you glasses users, you can order custom prescription lens inserts directly from Big Screen for the headset. I think this is fucking awesome. This should be an option with all VR headsets, and it's crazy to me how long it's taken for a VR headset manufacturer to include this. The color accuracy and the vibrancy of the displays was amazing. Like, amazing. It was fucking crazy, dude. This was some of the best color accuracy I've ever seen in a VR headset and added drastically to immersion. Black levels were so accurate. This is like a weird level of immersion that I didn't truly appreciate how much color accuracy and color depth adds to immersion until I tried this. The display resolution in person was very, very good too. Everything looked crisp even without any Steam VR super sampling, but unfortunately, this display can't be enjoyed anywhere near as much as it should be, as at least on the unit that I tested, because of the lenses. This brings me to the bad. These pancake lenses are very glary, giving off almost like a dotted sparkle effect rather than one clear glare that you get on something like the notoriously glare-inducing Index lenses. It's very, very frustrating, especially when you can see how good the displays are behind all of that glare. Even in relatively standardly lit scenarios, this glare was frustratingly apparent. Bear in mind, this is a prototype unit, and I don't know how much these lenses will change leading up to launch later this year, but with the unit I tried, honestly, this fucking sucked. This headset is also Steam VR tracked, meaning that it needs base stations and controllers all bought separately if you don't already have them, which is definitely rough considering this headset already has an $1,000 price point. But Big Screen knows exactly who they're targeting. Idiots like me. Idiots like me who already have a full PC VR setup ready to go. This headset also has no IPD adjustment, but I kind of feel bad for putting this in the bad section because, to be honest, with a headset like this, how the fuck you meant a fit of IPD system in here. And the IPD, when you order the headset, is custom to you. When you submit your face scan and buy your personalized unit, you have to put in your IPD as well, which is obviously great for a one user experience, but passing this around to others definitely is not what this thing was designed for. And that's completely okay. But naturally, with a product like this, you kind of want to pass it around to other users because it's so fucking cool. But being so personalized yet sacrificing shareability makes total sense for what this thing is trying to be. A polar opposite to a Quest 2, something that is truly intended for the enthusiast and not something designed to be easily demoed to others, making this a much better headset to spend long hours in VR with, especially for developers and content creators. So the FOV that I mentioned earlier, I kind of feel like the Joker here, because on paper it's 90 degrees by 93 degrees, but Thrill in his video said that he got more than that and that it was comparable to the Quest 2, and that Darshan, the CEO, said that it varies from person to person. Personally, for me, maybe my monkey face just doesn't fit well or something. The FOV was definitely less than the Quest 2, and it did feel pretty restrictive. But to be honest, it didn't bother me too much, as the sheer freedom that comes with the headset this light kind of offset that a little for me. But I could honestly see people getting slightly motion sick with how much tunnel vision this sort of limited FOV does give you. And outside of the glare, probably my second biggest issue with this headset was the cable. More specifically, how the cable runs off of the side of the headset. It doesn't like lead the cable down your shoulder anywhere near as well as something like the PSVR 2 does, and it continuously got in my way. Big Screen are selling a $100 or so audio strap, which may make the cable routing way better, and it definitely looks like a more secure head strap than the current ski goggle style. But with the default one that I tested, the cable was pretty obnoxious. Look, this headset isn't trying to replace your Quest 2. That's kind of the point. This headset isn't trying to compete head on with the current mainstream VR industry. This is a headset built by VR developers who clearly wanted something that solved the problems that they personally had with the headsets that they worked with for so long. A headset designed for you and only for you. It's not trying to be affordable, it's not trying to be mainstream, it's not trying to be a metaverse device. It just wants to be a solution to a very unique enthusiast problem. The CEO Darshan literally spent like an hour and a half riding my one wheels with me before showing me the headset. I appreciate that Big Screen aren't trying to be anything that they're not. They're making something that on an individual level they actually care about.
This is done purely out of passion. I wanted to do this so that I could use Big Screen every single day, all day long, actually code in VR all day long.
Darshan flew around the world showing this headset to every VR content creator he could. I mean, look how happy this motherfucker is that he and his team made this. What CEO does this? This is a team that cares, a team that will listen, and for me as an enthusiast, that's enough to sell me on this, instead of treating me like advertising data prey. And in today's industry, that's starting to feel pretty rare. So thank you, Big Screen. Thank you, Darshan. And thank you guys for watching.
Fuck a pigeonhole, I'm a night owl, it's a different mode. I'ma have to make a paint of 6 on a pinky toe.
Hi guys, pizza review with Darshan. Let's go, guys.
All right.
How hungry are you, mate?
Very.
Yeah.
UK pizza, first impression. What do you say?
Yeah, dude. First impression, UK
What we
pizza.
said?
Wait.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Heard you with a shooting guard, just let a nigga know I would have you courtside, not the middle row.